Yo guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the FIFA Flow podcast, guys. Today we got a big episode to talk about, guys. We have a lot of stuff going on in football, guys, and it's pretty crazy. Of course, you guys can see the agenda here on the right side. Barcelona Hansi Flick Ball Masterclass, guys. We're going to talk about their masterclass in the last match and just overall this season in the La Liga. They are going really crazy. I want to talk about Lamine Yamal, guys. I personally think he is the best winger in the world at the moment. And to have that sort of, maybe like you can argue he's not, but just to have that sort of that competition for that type of title to be the best winger in the world at 18 years old, what is he, or 17 years old? I think he just turned 18. Is is just is just crazy. So I want to talk about him. I want to talk about the Madrid crisis, guys. Somewhat of a crisis. I mean, they're still winning their games here and there. They're undefeated in the La Liga so far. However, it's not what you expect from a super team like this, with the likes of Jude Bellingham, Vinny, Rodrigo, Valverde, and of course with the new superstar Kylian Mbappe. And then I want to talk about Paris Saint Germain, the best team in the world. I want to talk about their masterclass. Of course, they are also they have also won all their games in the league. And I want to talk about just the overall performances, the goods and the bads about the team. Because of course, I watch PSG every week. Not necessarily the same thing with teams like Chelsea, City, Real Madrid, Barcelona. Not I don't watch them every week, but as a PSG fan, I watch them every week. I know, like, I can see the developments, the goods, the bads in the team. So, a lot to talk about there. We will talk a little bit about the North London Derby, not too much because I didn't really watch the game, and even with the highlights, like, I didn't really watch it too much because I watched the first the first 2 minutes of the highlights, and it was like the most boring thing I've seen. And then I seen the goal. It was like a corner cross goal. There you go. I'll say it already, and there you go. So I'm not really interested in that game too much. I kind of expected more. Of course, Spurs, man, like they are absolutely so bad, man. They are so terrible, but like they just cannot finish any shots. They don't know how to like I don't know what it is, but Arsenal are just like a really good team, and we'll talk about a little bit more about Arsenal later on. I want to talk about Chelsea, guys. A new team, new year, new season. Chelsea, guys, they are really looking good. I want to talk about Jadon Sancho, especially, guys, because I really think I'm gonna say some outrageous stuff later. Uh, I don't want to make it sound outrageous, but you could possibly say Sancho is the new Eden Hazard. Now that does sound really crazy because Hazard is honestly, you can argue, is a top five, maybe even top three Premier League. Like if you're talking about Prem only, not his whole career, because when he went to Madrid, bro, he was stinking it up. But when we talk about Chelsea and Hazard in the Premier League, he was top three players in the Premier League of all time. So for sure, maybe you can even say top two. Maybe who would be first though? Like Cristiano Ronaldo, Thierry Henry. Like you have these types of players, but you talk about the Prem only. Eden Hazard, top three players of all time in the Prem. So when you do say like, oh, there's a new Hazard, like you have to be like crazy. And I know it's Sancho's first game, but I do want to talk about him because the impact he made as a sub was really good, and just his overall performance, the way he plays, was like it really kind of not. It doesn't remind me of Hazard like when you see those highlights and stuff, but just the impact that he has, the way he moves, his decision making. I want to talk about those. I want to talk about not necessarily Man City, not the game against Brentford, but I want to talk about Erling Haaland, guys, because this guy should be an illegal striker. And I know I said in the past, I think in my last podcast or even the podcast before that, I mentioned that Haaland wouldn't fit in a La Liga system, but I think he would fit, but you also have to keep in mind he's gonna have to sacrifice some goals because in a La Liga system there is a lot of passing going on. So he has to one sacrifice some goals. I think he would. I feel like the only team he would really fit is Barcelona. I feel like the way that he would fit perfectly in for Lewandowski, I feel like they have a similar role. Although Lewandowski is a bit more complete, Haaland does have to work on a bit more of his passing as well as his dribbling as well. But the goals that I've seen, the two goals he scored against Brentford this weekend, guys, this guy should be an illegal striker, guys. And I think he's almost hitting for Man City in 103 games has 99 goals, guys. That's just crazy. So I want to talk about him, and then we're gonna go on and talk about Champions League predictions, of course, tomorrow and Tuesday, and I think Thursday now. Um, no, not. Oh no, there is Thursday. So Thursday. So are we getting match days on Thursdays now? No, I think only the first game week we're gonna have games on Thursdays. So only this week we're gonna have a game on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Let's hope PSG don't play on Thursday. No, they don't. They play on Wednesday. Good. But anyways, because I was busy on Thursday. But anyways, where were we? Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and give our predictions on game week 1 of the Champions League. I want to talk also kind of create my football fantasy team for the Champions League. Who do I think are going to be the top performance of the Champions League this season? And then also go ahead and do a review of the Ballon d'Or nominees, guys, who I predict to win, and some of the nominees, who's missed out on the nominees, who are some big shocks to be on that list in the nominees. Like, who would I replace? Who wouldn't I replace? And then, of course, like usual, ended off with a footy tic-tac-toe. So, guys, big episode today. So let's get right into it. I think you guys should be able to see my screen. But yeah, let's start ahead and talk off with Barcelona, guys. What I've seen with Barcelona in the past 5 games, they have 5 games, 0 draws, 0 losses. 5 games, 5 wins. Guys, this is a new sort of Barcelona, guys. The way that Hansi Flick has transformed this team into competing in every game. Now, they've yet to compete against like what I would say a top team. You have teams like Athletic Club who are decent. You have Girona as well who got top 3. I think they got second last season as well, above Barcelona, and they even beat Barcelona 4-2 home and away last season. So you could say like teams like Athletic Club and Girona are good, but for me, of course, Girona also have lost a lot of their key players. They lost that who's that like Diobrick guy? He went to Roma, I believe. They lost a few of their players. So for me, like, and even then, like that, I feel like the reason why teams like Athletic Club, like we take a look at last season table. Can we even go to last season? You can. Take a look at La Liga table 24 25. We take a look at last season. You see, look at this table. You have Athletic Club, Real Sociedad, Real Betis, Girona, all in the top 7 in the qualifying for UEFA competitions. And teams like Sevilla, they're usually in the Europa League. I feel like they're even in the Champions League most of the time. Villarreal have missed out. Like, they've had pretty bad performances. I would personally say that last year, other than Real Madrid, no, Barcelona did get second, but other than Real Madrid, um, a lot of the bigger teams kind of disappointed. And for me, this season, there's a lot more bigger teams in the names of Atletico de Madrid. I think they've had a really good season so far. Maybe it could be a bit better, but like the impact of the new signings, Conor Gallagher, Sorloth, who else do they have? Julian Alvarez. So they've made some really good. Who's that other? Lenormand as well. He's been a beast for them at center back or CDM. Or yeah, I think he's a center back. That's Zubimendi I was thinking of, who's also a really good player. I think that should be the next signing for Barcelona. Zubimendi. Maybe he might go to Liverpool though. There was a lot of rumors for Barcelona and Liverpool to sign Zubimendi, but you could say, but I mean, Barcelona do have a new CDM, which is Cascado. I think that's his name, and he's been amazing as well. We'll take a review at him when we talk about the game the other day. But Atletico de Madrid, Real Madrid, who are unbeaten still, but a little bit disappointing. Of course, we're going to talk about their crisis, whatever I said in the title, clickbait. Now you fell for my trap. You have to watch the whole video now. But you get what I mean. Like, there's still teams like Real, and of course, as I mentioned, Villarreal were also unbeaten, 3 wins, 2 games. I haven't really like kept an eye on them on in terms of performances and stuff, like how they're playing and stuff, like in the matches, because maybe they've also kind of gotten wins against some of the lower teams. But you kind of get what I mean. Like, so far, it's kind of been against the mid-table teams and stuff so far, there haven't really been any of the shocker teams. And as I said, you could say teams like Athletic Club and Girona are good teams, but at the same time, they lost a lot of their players as well. I think Lenormand, no, he was at Real Sociedad, and then went to Atletico de Madrid. But you kind of get what I mean. You could say they have played against teams like Athletic Club and Girona, but they've kind of fell off from the previous season because they've lost a lot of their key players, of course. So that's what I have to say. But overall, for me, that doesn't change the fact that Barcelona are having like a different type of performances, guys, because the performance that they have is pretty crazy. I want to talk about the game, so let's go into here. 4-1, guys. Lamine Yamal, guys. This guy, we're kind of gonna like kind of mix the topic around. Like we're gonna talk about Lamine being the best winger within the Barcelona talks. Now, the goals that I did see here from Lamine Yamal were like it was okay goals. Like I'm not gonna take away the fact that this guy is an amazing player. He has 4 goals and 3 assists, I believe. In how many games has he played? Has he played all 5 games in 5 games, which is outstanding. And at 18 years old, to be mentioned, to even have the mentions, you like I'd personally say he's amongst the top 3 best wingers in the world. I'd say you can put Barcola up there, and maybe that's a bit of PSG bias, but honestly, like to be fair, at the moment within the start of the season for the past 4 or 5 games, I'd personally say the best wingers in the world right now: Lamine Yamal, Barcola. Maybe you can even say Ousmane Dembele, guys, because we're gonna talk about him later as well. But for me, those are the 3 best. Rafinha has had a really good start, so like even there you go. Who else? You can even say. I'm trying to think at the Prem. I don't really watch a lot of the Prem games, like Bukayo Saka. Maybe he's having a good game. Um, but you kind of understand what I mean, Lamine Yamal. But the fact that he's able to do this at such a young age as well, at 18 years old, just makes it even more crazier. So you kind of get what I mean. But guys, yeah, Barcelona, amazing ball. The way that they play has also kind of changed, not really changed, but you can tell they apply more pressure, and that's kind of the way that Bayern also play under Hansi Flick as well. And even like that's kind of like that Bayern system is like the pressure. They put the pressure. They're really strong, physical. But for me, the Hansi Flick has brought that kind of pressure system into Barcelona as well. Players like Jules Koundé, Kubarsi, guys. This guy, he's what is he? I think he's 17. I think he's younger than Lamine. Is he? Yeah, he is slightly younger than Lamine, like a year or like half a year younger, I think. Because Lamine is 7. Wait, isn't Lamine 18 years old? Lamine, he's 17 still. I thought he was 18. July 13. And is it pretty recently he turns? Oh my days, that's even makes it worse. 17-year-old cooking it up in La Liga, and even in the Champions League, guys, he was low key like doing really good at when it was Barca versus PSG, guys. This guy, of course, he got 2 assists as well within both legs, like between the both legs, 2 assists, and just the overall, he low key owns Noon Menge. So, guys, Kubarsi, like okay, this wasn't the best match, but you can definitely tell like when I was watching like the start of the match, the first half, he was getting some really good challenges in. Cascado, Pedri, Inago Martinez. I don't know what this. Wait, where's Araujo? Is Araujo injured or something? But I don't know what's up with him. Kunde, but what I personally like, I think they have a stronger team. They're more the pressure is there now. Danny Olmo, man, what a signing for them. First, let's talk about the pressure, guys. The back line, the midfield, the pressure, very good. Even in the attack, Lamine Yamal, the way he got that first goal. As I said, I won't take away the fact that Lamine is still an amazing magisterial player, but that first goal was a little bit disappointing because it was one of the Girona players in the back. I think it was blind as well. Or blind, you can say. He didn't see Lamine Yamal. But anyways, enough of the jokes. Daily Blind, of course, you have Lamine Yamal who put the pressure onto Daily Blind, and he just, I don't know what the heck he was doing because he should have just, he was holding on to the ball. He tried to run away, but Lamine Yamal's pressure was too much, and I don't know what he's doing. He should have passed it away, man. What is he? What like really? Like if you go back and look at the goal, what the heck is he doing? Like what a shocker, like of a mistake that was. Just pass it away. I don't know if it was Daily Blind. Could have been that Lopez guy with the 3.8 rating. Maybe that's why it was so low. But yeah, of course, Lamine Yamal goes, takes it. Is just he's right in the front of the box here, and then goes and scores. Amazing, good strike as well. But overall, yeah, as I said, the pressure from the midfield, from the back line, as I said as well, they have not even the back line, even just the whole team. They put the pressure. They go in for some more tackles and stuff. They're stronger. Kunde, Kubarsi. Uh, what I really like about Barca is they have really good ball playing center backs, and it really reminds me of players like David Alaba. I really like him. Lucas Hernandez, Marquinhos. These are players who are both strong, they're leaders and they're really good on the ball. And I think that's what's really like. I think in the modern day of football, you need players who are good on the ball, and especially in the back line, because usually when you're in the back, players who are not that good on the ball, like in the past, you can say, they get pressured easily, they lose the ball. But nowadays, you have players who play from the back, and I think that's because nowadays the modern game has changed to more of a possession game. So if you have players who are in the back, who are good on the ball, they can just hold onto the ball, hold the possession, keep passing it. Take for example Manchester City. You have Kanji, Gavardiol. Who else do you have? Nathan Ake, of course, Ruben Diaz, who I think is a little less. Like he's not on the same levels as Nathan Ake and Akanji in terms of ball playing. However, you kind of understand what I mean. Nowadays, a lot of teams need to hold on to. You take a look at Paris Saint Germain as well. You can also say, like in the Bundesliga as well, Bayern Leverkusen kind of play with this possession based system. You get what I mean? Because you take a look at all these teams. They have the Spanish men. They all type of the way that they play is a possession based game, and I feel like the one of the main reasons Pep Guardiola, when he went to City, he changed the the way that football worked in the Prem, and now it's a more possession based game. You take a look at City, Leverkusen last season, even nowadays, of course, they finally lost after 55 games in domestically in the Germany. They finally lost to RB Leipzig. I think they were 2-0 up as well, and then they lose 3-2. Um, but yeah, as I said, Barcelona, Paris Saint Germain, Leverkusen, Bayern Munich, and especially Manchester City, all possession based games. So it's really important that you have good ball playing center backs. So, man, for Barcelona, man, good ball playing center backs, the pressure, they're stronger, and you can just tell it's a revolution going on here for under Hansi Flick. 5 wins, five games, 5 wins. I think 17 goals so far in La Liga, because they won 7-0. They have some 4-1 here. They have three. I think the first two games it was 3-0. So, oh yeah, we can take a look here. Oh no, this is just all the La Liga games. But overall, amazing team. And then going into the game itself, we just mentioned the Lamine Yamal goal, the pressure. Or Barcelona are also a really good team who are really good in set pieces and especially in corners are really good. They have the tall, strong, physical players. Lewandowski, Inago Martinez, Kunde. They didn't really have Araujo. Dani Olmo is also good. Um, they didn't have Araujo or Christensen. I think they're both injured though. Um, Eric Garcia, bench. We take a look at the bench here. Now Araujo, oh no, over here Christensen, Araujo, mid-December. Oh, they're not even gonna have Araujo in the Champions League. So even De Jong, actually, he should come back in like a few weeks. Gavi, of course, back in training though. So I really can't wait to see. Gavi was a really good player, and even in the past, like Gavi was a player who always applied pressure. He was really aggressive. He was strong. So under like he can be like I feel like Gavi could be the Valverde, the N'Golo Kante of Barcelona. Not like Valverde and N'Golo Kante, I feel like Gavi is not there yet, but in terms of like he's everywhere on the pitch. He's always running towards the ball. That's what Gavi was in the past. So under Fleck, he's going to be stronger, more pressure. Of course, they're more of a pressure-based team now. They're really strong. So I'm honestly excited to see Gavi to Gavi come back. But of course, they have a lot of big injuries. Christensen, Ansu Fati is back, so I wonder how he's going to be under um under Hansi Flick as well. Is he finally going to be the Ansu Fati that everyone wanted him to be? I feel like he's not going to get to those levels. Of course, Lamine has surpassed him. Of course, like in the past, everyone said Ansu Fati was the next Messi. That is long gone, guys. No chance. Even Barcola is better than Ansu Fati. But you have Lamine Yamal. He's the next Messi for sure. Even the way he plays is the next Messi. Um, just overall, the dribbles, the IQ, and at such a young age. Ansu Fati is long gone from being the player that everyone was expecting him to be, but maybe he can rejuvenate some, like kind of become a better player than he is at the moment or in the past few seasons. Like not to those levels that we expect him to be, but still a better player. We'll see how he is. I think he's going to be a good sub though, kind of like a Fernan Torres type of sub. You get what I mean? But overall, so maybe they can go ahead sell Fernan Torres and kind of incorporate Gavi or not Gavi, Ansu Fati as that kind of impact sub role like Fernan Torres. I feel like Fernan Torres, he got a red card unfortunately this game. Don't quite remember how. I think like he went in for a tackle, he missed the tackle, and then just like the tackle went through like too much, even though he didn't get the ball. Like the ball was away from the player, just the the follow through of the tackle ended up being pretty bad, so it was a red card. But overall, Fernan Torres is a really good impact sub for sure. So yeah, as I said, I'm really excited to see Ansu Fati and Gavi come back. They have a lot of big injuries as well, so we'll see how it really plays out against teams like Bayern Munich. Who else do they have? AC Milan, I think. Do they have Milan? We'll take a look. We're not going to take a look at who they play this week. We'll just see who they play in the first week. Monaco, who are a very good team as well. I can't lie, man. Monaco is a really strong team. Like I feel like a lot of people doubt Monaco. I watch PSG every week. Sometimes I watch some Monaco games, and the way that they play, they have a really good start in the League One as well. We'll go take a look at them in a moment, like when we go ahead talk about PSG. But overall, Barcelona, yeah, we talked about that first goal. The second goal, yet again from a set piece, now did rebound out, and it yet again it was kind of like it was like left out and like it rebounded and then went to the top of the box, but and then he just went ahead and shot it far post like away from the keeper, and the keeper really couldn't see because all the players from the set piece was in the box. So both the goals were like it was okay, but yet again like these are stuff that you won't expect from a 17-year-old. And it wasn't just in one game, it's just every week for national team in the Euros, for Barcelona again in the Champions League, against Paris Saint-Germain in La Liga, guys. Yeah, these two goals in this game were a bit like it wasn't anything crazy, but the fact that he has the ability to even like I'd say for that second goal, though it takes a little bit of skill. Not every 17-year-old is going to be able to do that. So is really impressive, guys. Cascado, I think he had an assist as well. Amazing run as well from Danny Olmo. He had like a kind of like a feint, like Cascado had like a feint move away, and then he saw the pass in through by Danny Olmo. Now it's really unfortunate that Danny Olmo, I think he has injury. I think I heard for 2 to 3 months now, so he's also out with the likes of Araujo, Christensen, and Frankie De Jong. But for me, guys, Danny Olmo had a really good start to the season, and he fits this Barca system really, really well. So it's gonna be a huge, not maybe not a huge. I think it could be a huge loss, but um, we'll see how it is. We'll see how they perform without Danny Olmo. Was he really that impactful in the middle for Barcelona in the midfield? We'll see next week or we'll see against Monaco, like how they're gonna play against Monaco. So we'll take a look. Was Danny Olmo really that important? I personally think he was a very good player for Barcelona. He was really impactful in the games. The movement, the positioning, the pressure, the dribbling, the passing, everything about him. He fits the system really well. Of course, former La Masia player as well. So what do you expect? Of course, he's gonna fit the system. He has like the history, the passion for the team. Um, but where were we? Overall, we're gonna see how they play. Amazing team, and then we had like we were talking about the goal, amazing running behind, and then no, I think Cascado's assist was to Pedri. I think that was to Pedri. Yeah, he did like the feint and then away. What was the Danny Olmo goal? Lewandowski also got an assist. Oh, Dani Olmo's goal was by Koundé. Yet again, going to that sense of ball playing center backs over the top into Dani Olmo, like in behind the defense, and then Dani Olmo, great strike, far post. Held the pressure off as well. Like he did good to hold the pressure off. He's kind of like a big player as well, so he's good at he's good to put pressure against other players, and then amazing goal, far post. Lewandowski, I think his assist was to, it wasn't to Pedri's goal. It's probably to Lamin's goal. Like he probably won the header, passed it. He saw he couldn't move anywhere. I think he passed it out to the top of the box, and then Lamin with the strike. Overall, great game. So Barcelona new system, new everything. You take a look at Hansi Flick, guys, and at the moment, if you take a look, Hansi Flick. If we take a look at just stats overall in the La Liga, if we take a look at stats. Top scorer, Barcelona. Top assister, Lamine Yamal, Barcelona. Top goals and assists, you have Lamine at 7. He's currently the top goal contributor in La Liga at 17 results. But you have the likes, like who's even Lamine, Lewandowski, and Rafinha are three Barcelona players with the most goal contributions in La Liga. FOTMOB rating, three Barcelona players. Goals per 90, Dani Olmo. Expected goals, Lewandowski, Rafinha. Goals per 90, or expected goals per 90, Lewandowski. Expected goals on target, Lewandowski. Basically everything you see, accurate passes, Inigo Martinez, big chances created, Rafinha, Lamine Yamal, guys. Amazing. Chances created, Rafinha with 17. Expected assists, kind of a lot of these big stats, like are a lot of Barcelona players. Penalties awarded, and you got Madrid here, penalties awarded. And of course it's Vinny with the penalties. We're diving for him. But overall, yeah, amazing from Barcelona. And yeah, I was gonna go look at Hansi Flick, guys. You take a look at his past um performances with with Bayern Munich. What did he have here? 12 games, 7 draws, 6 assists. But this was kind of like at a time where Germany were kind of in a bit of like a rough situation, a lot of injuries and stuff. I feel like now, who's their manager now? I think it's what's his name? Julian Nagelsmann, I think. So he's had a great stint with Germany so far. But you take a look, 70 wins, 8 draws and 8 losses. 81% win rate. Currently, with the way that Barcelona are playing, and like I think they're going to win the league for sure, especially when you compare it to the other contenders like Real Madrid, and maybe Atletico de Madrid could put a challenge. I'm not really sure. I haven't really watched them enough. But for me, for the games that I've watched with Barcelona, I don't even know what these are. With the games I've watched for Barcelona so far, like the way that they play is definitely like title winners for me. So you take a look, Hansi Flick. We get a calculator. Hansi Flick. There's 20 teams, of course, minus 119, of course. 19, you play 19 games. Home and away, 38. Home and 38 games in the league. And times 3 is, what is that? 90, 121. Now it's, oh my, I did it wrong. I was thinking 3 times 7 for some reason. It's 8 right there, but that would be 111 anyways. Anyways, we don't talk about the maths. But anyways, 114. You can get, if you were to win every game in La Liga, 114 points. And with what's his name? With Hansi Flick, so far he had an 81% win rate at Bayern Munich, 8-2. Of course, we know all that legendary stuff. 114. 92 points. If he was to replicate, I mean that was in like 80, 90 games for Bayern. But you kind of get what I mean. If he was to replicate the win percentage he had at Bayern Munich and at Barcelona, I think it'd be even better. I really think like 92 points is enough to win the title for sure. Especially with the way that teams like Real Madrid are performing, like it's gonna be hard. Like they're gonna have to catch up because I think they're 2 draws right now, so they need to get 2 wins back to catch up. Yeah, they would need to get 2 wins back to catch up. So overall, yeah, Barcelona, amazing team. That was like 20 minutes just talking about Barcelona. Crazy. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about Real Madrid's crisis. So we're not gonna we'll talk about the game. This game was a little bit more impressive, but what's not impressive for me is the fact that Real Madrid are having to rely on penalties to score. It's hard for them to score from open play. But what I will say is, like, I know, like, I'm kind of just joking with this crisis stuff right now, but what I will say is I really do expect in the next 3, 4, 5 games that they will start scoring goals from open play, because Mbappe has started to settle in. He's kind of learning that striker role. And in the past, Real Madrid were a team who used to play from the wings and then kind of cut, like, let Vinny and Rodrigo cut in and then have Benzema as that false nine. So Benzema would be a bit back. Now with Mbappe kind of staying higher up in the nine role, it's harder for players like Vinny and Rodrigo to cut inside and make those runs. So for me, especially with this game here, what I have started to notice is they're adapting to the runs and the positioning that Mbappe is playing. They no longer have that player like a false nine role. If you get what I mean, not like a Benzema role. They don't have that player. They have a player who's more a pure striker who runs in behind. Benzema, of course, he made some runs in behind occasionally, but he was more like a pivot, like a false nine. You kind of get what I mean. Mbappe is more like a pure nine. Not really in a pure nine, not on the levels of Lewandowski, or not on the levels of those players like Suarez and stuff, but he's kind of like a different. He's not a Benzema player. Benzema was more like a little bit drop back. Mbappe is a player who likes to use his explosiveness, his acceleration, his speed. So he makes a lot of runs in behind. And watching this game, he's I feel like Madrid have adapted to that role. So players like Vinny and Rodrigo, they have started to they still make runs, like diagonal runs, inside forward runs, but it's not a lot. They've now kind of started to play kind of they've kind of adapted to the way that Mbappe plays. Okay, like if he moves here, let me move here. They kind of have that free role, and I think that's really important for the way that Madrid play. I feel like if I feel like still for me, if Mbappe doesn't have a lot of goals, people shouldn't come say like stuff that Mbappe is frauding for them, because personally, this game Mbappe had a pretty he was okay. Like, he could have done better. You expect more from him, but for me, he's a player who distracts the opponents. So far, at least. Maybe he can be more. He can do more in the matches. But so far, he's a player who's distracting the players, because when he makes certain runs, the team kind of moves the back line. Like, you have two players marking him, so that moves around the players, and then that makes a more open space for his teammates. So, as I said, for me, I expect more from Mbappe, more from Madrid overall, because I think the last 4 goals they've scored have all been penalties. Mbappe, 3 games or 3 goals, 3 penalties in the La Liga so far. So it's not really impressive from what you expect. But as I said, right now it's more in a tactical situation, a tactical and adaptive team right now. What I'm seeing here, because they're still adapting to the way that Mbappe plays. He's not the same player that Benzema was. He's kind of more up front, kind of like on the line of the back line rather than deeper into the midfield. If you get what I mean, he's not that false nine role, but he's still a really good player. As I said, right now he's a player who's distracting opponents' defenses to open up the back line and just the overall the pitch, the midfield, the back line. He's opening up the space to allow his players, because they're kind of nervous of Mbappe. Of course, he's the best player in the world, or supposedly. I wouldn't say he's the best, especially right now at the moment. I'd say Haaland is the best, Lamine Yamal is the best, Ousmane Dembele. I'd honestly put those three at the top. Currently, from what I've seen at least, I'd put those three at the top for me. But you take a look, you go back to Mbappe. Yeah, as I said, the runs he makes, he's more of a tactical, and as I said, the way that Madrid are playing, they're in the stage where now in the past 2 games, especially in this game, what I've seen here from the highlights, and I watched a bit of the game as well. They're in an adapting stage. They're adapting to the runs, the way that he's moving and stuff. So it's good there. For me, I still expect more from Madrid in the future, more goals from open play, but for sure, they're an amazing team. Arda Güler, guys. This guy, yeah, Brahim Diaz is out for 2 to 3 months as well, I believe, which is pretty unfortunate because he's a really good player. But Arda Güler, guys, what a player he is, man. What a player, guys. He's magisterial as well. What is he? Is he 18 or 19? 19 years old, but I'm not gonna say that he like the way that he's I feel like this was kind of what Madrid were missing out on. Now they had a lot of players who could create chances, of course. Luka Modric, Toni Kroos, um, Valverde also as well, Jude Bellingham of course. But I feel like they were missing a real number 10. And for me, Arda Güler is kind of has that role for Madrid. He has that number 10 role for Madrid. So yeah, amazing player. His dribbles, his passes and stuff. Who was the one who got the assist to Valverde to no one assisted Mbappe, but they were both pens. It wasn't a joke there. I wasn't trying to hate on Madrid, but in the sense like there was one moment in the very early on in the game where he had a really good yet again he adapt to the way Mbappe makes those runs. Mbappe makes the run behind, waits. He the way that Mbappe plays, he's really good at not trying to be offside. He holds his line, so he stays on the same line as the defense, but he makes the run in behind like a diagonal run. Arda Güler, amazing run in the behind. Mbappe does like a little step over and then a fake shot to the left to go far post, and unfortunately hits the keeper. But those are the kind of situations that I like to see Mbappe in, even if he's not scoring in those situations. It's stuff like that that like is adapting to the team. He's kind of figuring out the way that Madrid play, and yet again vice versa, the way that Madrid play are figuring out a new player's role, because it's a different role for Mbappe. He's not the same. It's a different role that Mbappe is playing. He's more central, and it's also a different player that Madrid have. It's not a false nine like Benzema. It's more of a speedster. Like he's not really a player who uses his physicality, who's up in the midfield a lot in the top of the box. He's a player who likes to make the runs in behind into the box rather than wait outside of the box. Um, Benzema was still an exceptional player. I'm not trying to hate on Benzema here, but he's not the same. He doesn't have the same role that Mbappe has. So overall, yeah, I do expect to see more from Real Madrid. The last. How many goals did they have so far? They have 9 goals, and I think all the last 4 goals were all penalties. So you expect to see more, but as I said, they're kind of in a tactical situation. Like they're trying to play like with the tactics in terms of like Mbappe is dragging out the players to allow space for the rest of his teammates, and then vice versa as well. They're kind of Mbappe is starting to adapt into the Madrid um, tactics, the Madrid de la Liga play style, the striker role rather than the wing role. But you can kind of tell he's still trying to make those runs in behind. And what you can definitely tell is now with those diagonal runs, he's still trying to make those inside forward diagonal runs like Vinny, like he used to do at Madrid or at PSG. Down, he was on the wing, make those inside runs into the box. He's still trying to make those diagonal runs behind the defense. But what you have noticed is the wingers now are a little bit more drop back so that Mbappe could make those runs and then they assist to him. For example, if I can draw here, I can't draw here, but I think you guys can see my cursor over here. So you see Mbappe here. Sometimes Vinny makes a diagonal run into the box. Same with, let's say, Rodrigo's here in diagonal run. But they still make those runs. Mbappe kind of plays a false nine, but now they're adapting where they're not always making those runs like they used to. When Benzema's here, Vinny was always making those runs and then cutting into Benzema. Now, with the way Mbappe plays, even in the past with PSG, Mbappe, who was this Vinny role, he used to go on down the wing and then cut inside into the box and then into the box and go for a far finesse near post. Mbappe special, like the step over near post, the feint stuff. Now, what you've definitely noticed is these wingers from Madrid are they're still making runs, but they kind of sometimes allow Mbappe to make those diagonal runs, like go run this way, go run that way, And then when Mbappe makes those runs, they pass to him, and then they cut inside from there, and then Mbappe cuts back. You know what I mean? And that's the free roll, the free roll that I'm talking about. They have that free roam. They can move around. They interchange with each other. You get what I mean? But yeah, as I said, the tactics have changed. They're adapting. Madrid are adapting to Mbappe's role. Mbappe is adapting to his new role at Madrid. So that's what I have to say there. There was the crisis stuff was clickbait. Like I do expect to see more because in terms of crisis, I mean like they've scored four of the their last four goals, their last four of the five goals, because Valverde had a screamer. I think he had like a really good goal. Two pens here. No, it's just the last four goals have all been penalties. Mbappe's first three goals in La Liga, all penalties. So in terms of that sense, I expect to see more. I expect to see goals from open play. But as I said, they're in an adaptive situation. They're in a they're yeah. I'm not gonna go in my rant again about adaptive tactical stuff, but you get what I mean. They're kind of they're solidifying their team. The superstars are kind of understanding each other now. So I will say that, and we're gonna. I can't wait to see what it's gonna be when Jude Bellingham also comes in, because we've seen one game of Jude Bellingham, which was in the Super Cup, and that was an extraordinary game, and he did some really good assists to Mbappe. That's the type of player that Mbappe wants, someone who can provide a good like through balls into Mbappe. So I think he's injured now. In terms of a crisis, you could say their injury crisis is. There is a little bit of an injury crisis. We take a look here. Come on, where's the lineup? And then, okay, injuries over here. You have David Alaba, doubtful. So what does that mean? I don't know when he's going to come back. You have Aurelian Chouameni going back into training. Ceballos. Okay, Jude Bellingham is back in the training. So it's a bit of a light injury. But still, they had a lot of Eder Militao just came back as well. Ferland Mendy, I think he was injured for a bit. But overall, yeah, Courtois is back now. Amazing team. Amazing stuff. Not amazing stuff, but like okay stuff. I expect to see more now because this game here against Real Sociedad, you can start to notice they're solidifying as a team. We're not going to talk about the North London derby. We're not going to talk. I don't know. Do we talk about Manchester City? I wanted to talk about how good Erling Haaland was, because this guy, man, if you see those goals against Brentford, this guy like should be illegal. He has in 4 games for Man City, he has 9 goals. This guy has more goals than any other team in the Prem. This guy, like, if you were to take Haaland out of City's goals, like, Haaland has more goals than all teams have. Like, you kind of get what I mean? Like, Everton only have 4 goals. 1 goal, Southampton, 4 here too. Haaland has 9 goals. And if it's only been how many games? It's 4 games. Just how many games are in the Prem? 38 divided by 4 is 9.5. If he was to score 9 goals, now that's 81, 85 goals in a season. Like, that's not going to be, like, I doubt it, because he's not going to play every game and stuff as well. And bro, that's just crazy, man. Man, that is just crazy. Like, if he keeps up what he's doing right now, he could honestly score this many goals per nine games. No, it wouldn't be per 9 games. I think I did the math wrong there. 38 goals. No, I think it was correct. Divided by 4. Why am I doing 38 divided by 4? Yeah, because then we're averaging about every 4 games. What am I doing, bro? 4. Let's just do 4 times 9. Oh no, okay, what am I doing, bro? Anyways, bro, I don't know what's wrong with me with these maths here today, but you get what I mean, guys. He would average 85 goals in a whole season if he was to do that. That is outrageous, guys. Oh, because there's 9.5 times more of 4. Bro, what am I doing, bro? Negative ball. I'm just too shocked by the way that Haaland plays, because, man, Haaland, bro, I'd expect Haaland, honestly, at this rate, Haaland could honestly score, outbreak his Premier League record again. And he currently holds the most goals in the Prem. I think he can honestly break that. Most, is it 38 or 36? In Prem League season 36. Honestly, at this, bro, honestly, I really do think Haaland can score 40 goals this season because he's a different player. I feel like last season City, like of course Kevin De Bruyne was injured as well, which is huge for them, like which is a huge like downside for them. Now he's back. He doesn't get the same amount of assists, but the contribution in terms of the playmaking and the impact on the game is definitely what they were missing from last season. They have Gundogan back as well. He left for a year, and now he's back, and of course he's gonna do great as well. He was there with Erling Haaland when they won the Champions League, that they won the treble, of course. So man, I really do think that Haaland could break his goal. He's already at double. He's basically at double-digit goals this week. And when we take a look at City's upcoming games, they got Inter, they got Arsenal. I don't know, but like you can definitely stat pad like 2 goals here, maybe 1 goal against Arsenal, uh, maybe 1 goal against Newcastle, maybe not, because Newcastle are a pretty decent team. Yeah, stat pad here, stat pad here. You know what I mean? Like a lot of them are kind of stat pads, but that's because he's just so good that he can score a lot of goals. So it's not really stat pads. He's just so good that he can do that week in week out. But anyways, I just want to talk about how good Erling Haaland was, guys. Let's go ahead and talk about Paris Saint-Germain, guys. We are 4 games and 4 games, 4 wins in the league earned this season, and we've had an amazing start. I've seen a lot of stuff. Desiree Doué, Bradley Barcola. We have 16 goals in league earned this season. We've played against some pretty okay teams. Stade Brestois are a pretty good team. Lille are a really good team. Now we did beat them 3-1, but I really will say that in the Champions League, a lot of teams should watch out for Lille and Monaco as well. We played Montpellier, or Montpellier, whatever the accent, like you don't say the R, Le Havre. So we kind of played against kind of the lower teams, but in terms of like we played Lille, and we also played Stade Brestois, who were 14th, man. But overall, Stade Brestois were a pretty decent team. Like they had some good moments in the game against Paris Saint Germain. I think we have Girona this weekend, and then I think next or this week on Wednesday in 2 days we have Girona, and I think next weekend we have AS Monaco. So that's when the real challenge. Oh, we don't have Monaco. What was I thinking? Maybe I was thinking of Barcelona because they have Champions League, or they have Monaco. I don't know. Anyways, we have Stade Reims. We had, oh no, this is Stade Reims. Whatever, these 2 teams are like Stade de Reims or whatever. And then you have this team as well, Stade Rennes. They both have Stade, so like it kind of confuses me. But then you have Arsenal, big game. OGC Nice. You have Strasbourg. Um, Marseille, you have the Le Classique, you have Lens, and Angers or whatever, Toulouse, um, Nantes, Auxerre, whatever it is. Man, these French teams, man, too much pronunciation. But anyways, we have some pretty decent games upcoming. OGC Nice is a big game. Arsenal is a big game, of course. Girona is a pretty okay game. PSV, Strasbourg, Rennes are a good game. Is a good team as well in the league. On they're a pretty okay team. How are they doing this season though? Like a top side, they're like a mid-table team. Is okay. We have some more okay games so far. All the teams we've played are kind of within the bottom half of the table. Now we're gonna get to the Rennes and Reims, and then we're gonna get to I think who else do we have? And then we have Champions League teams like Arsenal and Girona, um, then Strasbourg as well. So we have a little bit better to like kind of the top middle half of the table. As I remember, as I said, you have the top middle, the bottom middle, and then the bottom. So we're gonna have the top middle teams upcoming. We've gone from the bottom middle to the top middle. So we're kind of progressing in terms of the teams, the stronger teams. So I can't wait to see how we're gonna do against bigger teams so far. Lille and Stade Brestol are pretty decent teams. They're like the only two teams who I seen have really put a competition against us. Le Havre is just, I expected, it was the first game of the season, I guess, for Le Havre. It was a bit disappointing in the start. We only started showing up like after the 70th minute. And then same with Montpellier, like that was just a dominant game. But Lille and Stade Brestol like were a bit more challenging teams, and especially due to the fact. Let's talk about this game as well. I want to talk about the pros and cons about the team so far, guys. The way that we're playing, Stade Brestol, they got a penalty in the start. I will kind of say the back line is a bit iffy, guys. We have Beraldo. I don't know. Is Marquinhos just benched? Like, yeah, I think he was benched because he was just benched. You know, it's one of those things. But I'm hoping, yeah, Presnel Kimpembe, man. Presnel, man. Kimpembe. You guys, he's coming back, man. Maestro is coming back. El Maestro, Maestro, whatever they call his nickname, is coming back. So I can't wait to see him. Lucas Hernandez is out for a while, but I'm happy to see that Presnel is coming back. You got Gonzalo Ramos out, and Vitinha is also kind of doubtful. He's kind of having a break right now, like a week. He's gonna miss the game against Girona, maybe miss the game against Reims as well next week. Um, but so far, like the back line with Beraldo and like Beraldo is the like Skriniar, he's kind of getting some more playing time. I know, of course, he was injured last season, and there was kind of rumors that like we wanted to let him go because we didn't really like he wasn't really the player. Like this guy went from the best Serie A defender to kind of like barely starting for Paris Saint Germain. So I kind of hope he gets more playing time now um with Lucas Hernandez out. Maybe he could get some more playing time and kind of rejuvenate those Inter Milan moments, that those those prime years, of course. And he's 28, 27 years old, I think. 29 years old, a bit older. I think Lucas Hernandez is younger than him. But overall, I hope that Skriniar becomes better. But Beraldo, on the other hand, I hope he also gets some more playing time. But for me, he is also a little bit like shaky as well sometimes. He's still learning. Same with Pacho as well. They kind of put a lot of challenges. He had a pretty okay game. Nunes unfortunately gave away a penalty. He held onto the shirt, and of course you get what you expect what's gonna happen next. They're gonna fall down. Of course, he gave away a pen. We were 1-0 down in the first half, and then it kicks off, guys. We have Ousmane Dembele, Asensio, Fabian Ruiz. Guys, this midfield, Lee Kang, Hakimi was amazing for us. What I did notice was Nunes and Hakimi always go up in the pitch a lot, especially Hakimi. He's this guy's literally playing where Ousmane Dembele should be playing, like right wing. He's literally like right beside Ousmane Dembele, and that's kind of how modern fullbacks are nowadays. They're very attacking. You take a look at Cancelo from Man City. You take a look at like I don't know who else, because you take a look at Carvajal at Real Madrid. He's also very attacking. Um, but like Hakimi, I love like what I do notice, like Hakimi is exceptional both in defense and attack. But at some moments when Hakimi is in attack, and same with Numenj, you're kind of left with two men in the back. And with the midfield that PSG have now, we don't really have a defensive player. We like you have Fabian Ruiz, you have João Neves, Lee King In, who are really good at applying pressure and like getting the interceptions, good at tackling. You have players like Zaire Emery and Vitinha who didn't play this match, but just in general, for me, those are players who are more like there's no player whose main role is like a CDM role. They don't have like a Kante, a Chouameni, like who could you say else? Like we don't have like a pure CDM. They're more box to box roles. You kind of get what I mean. So at moments you see a lot of these players like Lee Kang-in, João Neves, and Fabian Ruiz are really high pressured up. Nunes and Hakimi down the flanks. They're playing as wingers at this point. So you're kind of left with two center backs and a very open space on the wings. And that's what I noticed. That I feel like for me that was kind of one of the reasons why I said that the game against Stade Brestois and Lille were a bit more challenging, was because of Nunes and Hakimi were playing a lot. We didn't really have a pure CDM. Like I feel like Zaire Emery's a little bit more defensive, but you kind of get what I mean. There's some moments where we are really open in the back because of the fact that we're putting so much players to go forward. I think Joao Neves is a great holding CD center mid. Like I think he's very small as well. He's kind of he needs some more time, of course, but he's a player like who can definitely defend for sure. Like he's very aggressive. When I was watching his highlights against Benfica, he's like an N'Golo Kante type role. He's always aggressive. He's strong. He's good at ball playing. He's like, as I said, in the past, last season, I was saying Vitinha is the new Verratti. For me, Jean Neves is the real new Verratti, for sure. He can turn into that type of player. He's aggressive. He's small. He fights for the ball. He's good at passing, good at dribbling. So amazing players. But as I said, sometimes there is moments where the team is the midfield and of course the fullbacks, especially are playing wingers. The midfield's pressured up high, so there's some moments where the backline is a bit open, just left with Beraldo and Skriniar. But I feel like that's also kind of the way that PSG play. We always kind of play a high line, of course, because we have ball playing center. But like the way that modern football is really high line and ball playing center backs. Take a look at City; they're always playing a high line. Ederson is always outside of the box. Um, and same with Paris Saint Germain, we always have a high pressure unless it's a good team like uh, Barcelona or something. Last season against Barcelona, we really didn't play a high line, but um, or sometimes we did. Like you take for instance the who was the goal? I think it was Rafinha who scored against us in the second leg. There was or it was in the first leg. Pedri came on, he did the over top, and that was due to the fact that we kind of had a high line to allow that space in behind. So take a look. You have PSG, you have City, all playing high lines. You have Barcelona who kind of play high line as well. That's due to the fact because modern football with these ball playing center backs, they want a high line so they can pass to the ball playing center back and then have the players who are higher up in behind the defense make the run, and then those ball playing center backs go across the whole team into the back line and into the box, and they go ahead and score. You get what I mean? But I have noticed that was kind of the downsides. Mensch gave away a pen. Hopefully he can. He's kind of a bit shaky recently. Look, that's only sometimes though. He's still an exceptional player. Hopefully his link up with Barcola, like the link up that Mensch and Mbappe had, were really good. So hopefully they can kind of link up with Barcola, understand that role. I think the only reason he had a 6.9 here was because of that pen. Otherwise, other than that, he had a really good game, a really solid game. But even at some moments, like against Barcelona last year, he was really like he should have done better. Like I expected more from him, but I'm not gonna like the back line was good. Hakimi really good. Like this guy's the best right back in the world, man. I hope he extends. He's having signs that he wants to extend. He's gonna be you can honestly say like he is a PSG legend. I mean, who else would you put there? Maxwell. I think Maxwell would go right back. Or he was a left back, no. But like who else would you put at right back for PSG? Like PSG all time XI. Let's take a look. You're gonna have Di Maria, Cavani. Actually, I don't know. Would you put Cavani? Like you have Neymar as well. Mbappe is the Henri of PSG. Mendes. No, bro. What are we doing? Where's Maxwell, man? Oh, this guy. No, this guy's a striker, though. Maybe this guy's way, yeah, way up for sure. Neymar, you can even say. Oh, Letta, man, what a player, man. Magisterial, magic. I want to see like what do people put at right back? Marquinhos at right back, and who are they putting? Thiago Silva and Pilogret, who has them? Who was he used to he was the former player who had the most games for PSG, and then of course last season Marquinhos took that. And then Maxwell, yeah, Maxwell right back. Verratti has to be in there. Who else can you put in there? Who, if we can think. Rai, Susic. These are kind of older players I don't know. Kylian Mbappe has to be there. I'd put Zlatan for sure. Cavani was really good for us. Yeah, Zlatan has to be in there. This guy is like Zlatan had a better legacy at PSG. For me, I prefer Zlatan over Mbappe. Honestly, Zlatan was a different gravy, man. But also that's like the times where like I don't know, man. Zlatan was good. You can also say Neymar, George Weah. You can honestly say Ronaldinho as well. He was really good for us. Pauletta has to be there. Um, but yeah, let's talk about this game. I want to talk about a new topic as well. How long has this podcast been? 1 hour already, and we're not even halfway there. Um, but anyways, we have yeah, this game Dembele, man. Dembele, he got the cross from Asensio. For me, the way that yeah, Fabian Ruiz had a crazy goal as well. Fabian Ruiz, ever since the Euros, he showed the world a lot in the Euros. I feel like last season, I really liked Fabian Ruiz. I said Fabian Ruiz was a really good midfielder for PSG, but not everyone watched. Like everyone doesn't watch League One because they say it's the worst league. Um, so no one knew him like the way that Ruiz plays. And then he went to the Euros, the biggest stage. He won the Euros, and he was an exceptional, a key player for Spain in the Euros as well. So he got that name for himself, and he's still performing at a top level at PSG. He scored an exceptional goal, curler into the top left bins, top bins. Dembele, guys, this guy has been nothing but spectacular for PSG. This guy is the new Dino of PSG. When you watch Dino for when he first joined PSG, he was like, of course, he was a different player. But Dembele, he's more open. He has the free role for himself. He has more confidence, and I think that's all because, of course, Xavi gave him that confidence to like, oh, do like even if you miss, go for the shots. And I think Lucho's kind of doing the same thing with him. But I feel like he's more at home now. He has that kind of French spirit with him. Barcola, amazing. Asensio, I will say we kind of do need we definitely need a striker. But I don't mind. Like the role that Asensio plays, that false nine role, is still pretty good for us. Like it allows yet again, it allows for Dembele and Barcola to cut inside as an inside forward and then go for like a finesse. You get what I mean? So having like a false nine is pretty good for us. Like Asensio, he's really good. He drops into the midfield, carries the ball, passes it out to the wing, and then the wingers like go as an inside forward. You get what I mean? Lee King in, guys. This guy is like really good as well. He like if we like he's like the Arda Güler of PSG. He is like the Danny Olmo, you can say. Like who's a player you can compare to him at Barca? He's like the Bernardo Silva of PSG. He's like the no, he's not really like a Doku. He's not like a those type of players. He's not like a Mars. He's like a player who can hold onto the ball, who can move the ball, good at dribbling, pass the ball. You kind of get what I mean. Like I would like if I had to come like I feel like the best comparison is Arda Güler, that type of role, that like number 10 type of role, hold the ball, move the ball around, pass it, good dribbling, very good like the small touches. Lee Kang In, very underrated, and I hope he really shows a name for himself as well. Even on international level with South Korea, with him and Heung-min Son, amazing. So yeah, as I said, Dembele has been nothing but extraordinary for PSG. No injuries either. Barcelona really got scammed, guys. They really got scammed. There is some moments where I kind of joke around and I say, get Dembele out of my club. So I'll give Dembele and 200 mil for Lamine Yamal. Because for me, Lamine Yamal's the best winger. I would take him at PSG for sure. So if we get like it would be a dream to have Lamine Yamal at PSG. On Football Manager, I've signed Lamine Yamal at PSG. So that's just how much I want him because I personally think he's the best winger in the world. But where was I? But Dembele is still like a different level. Dembele, Lee Kang In, Asensio, Jean Neves. I'm really excited to see what more is coming from this team. We have a Champions League this week, so let's see how we do. It's just as I said, the wings like the in the back line is a bit open, but other than that, the attack has really been good. So, allez Paris, ici c'est Paris. But anyways, let's go on to Chelsea. Not too long here about Chelsea. I just want to talk about Jadon Sancho's role, especially in this game against Bournemouth. For me, guys, Jadon Sancho, Cucurella have a really good link up. For me, Jadon Sancho starts over Madueke. I think Nkunku starts over Jackson, and what's his name? João Felix starts over Neto. If they run, so what I would do is I'd put Sancho on the left wing, Palmer on the right wing, João Felix at striker, and Nkunku at cam. That is all those four players at the top in their best form, or even in the current form right now, make such a good team. João Felix was good, and Nkunku, guys. When this guy is playing, he was injured last season. For the majority of last season, he was injured. But when I see him play for Chelsea now in this team with Cole Palmer, um, João Felix, and Sancho, he feels more comfortable. And the goal that he got today was really good. That link up play with Jadon Sancho. Now, I said in the start of the podcast that Jadon Sancho was the new Hazard. Now, as I said, Hazard was a different level. Jadon Sancho is not on the levels of Hazard. But in terms of the kind of role that they play for Chelsea, like Chelsea needed a player who can move the ball, who was silky with the ball, who had the skills, who was smart in terms of passing, in terms of running. They're really fast as well. There is some moments where the runs that he makes really reminds me of Eden Hazard's runs. Like he does like 1-2 plays. He does some really good passes. He's good on the one-on-ones against other players. He's strong. Even you take a look at Eden Hazard, this guy is strong. He can hold off players, dribble away from players, the one-on-ones, and that's what I really see with Jadon Sancho as well, is the one-on-ones. He's strong. The playmaking, the passes with him and Cucurella down the wing there. Like Cucurella would make a inverted run, and then Jadon Sancho just down the wing, and then Cucurella pass into the box. You know what I mean? Those 1-2 similar, like those simple plays, 1-2s with the fullback making the overlapping run. Him, like he kind of, like Jadon Sancho makes the dribbles, the one-on-ones, and then cuts inside, like does like a feint, or like just a way that he, like the smooth kind of silky dribble, and then passed into Nkunku, and then Nkunku did good to really out physical like against two players, and then just finesse far post. Nkunku, Cucurella, the link ups there with Jadon Sancho, amazing guy. So for me, Jadon Sancho, he came on at half, like what time? I think he came on at half the 46-minute halftime for Pedro Neto. He got an assist, and he got man of the match as well for this game. So to do that at halftime, and as I said, just the impact that he had on the game for Chelsea was really good. That's the player that Chelsea were missing. I feel like all types of teams kind of nowadays have that player. You take a look at PSG, for example. You have Barcola or Dembele. I'd say more Barcola has that kind of winger role. You take a look at Barcelona, Rafinha. You take a look at Man City, especially. You have two players. You have Doku, and now you have what's his name? Who's that new winger they have? Savinho. These are players who are good with the one-on-ones. They have 1-2s. They're really fast. They're always down the wing. And for me, Jadon Sancho, you take a look at past uh his past performances with Borussia Dortmund, especially. I feel like because he was in the Bundesliga, he was really, at least personally, because I don't watch the Bundesliga a lot, I didn't really notice this guy a lot. But now with Chelsea, I've kind of like this season, like with Chelsea a lot, I've kind of watched them a few times because I really do think that they're a new type of team. And for me, like against this game against Dortmund, against AFC Bournemouth, was a spectacular game for for um for Jadon Sancho, and it's really unfortunate that he can't get the opportunity like this under Eric Ten Hag at United. He just gets disrespected over there. So I think this is a huge move for him that he's gone to Chelsea, and he's done more than Sterling as well. I think Sterling is also rejuvenating his performances at Arsenal. I think it's a win-win for Chelsea and Jadon Sancho, and also for Arsenal and what's his name, and Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling, man, this guy's been at every top club. He's been at Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool. All he needs left is Spurs United, man, and then he's done like the top big six. Um, but where he's done City as well, City, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, bro. He needs Spurs and United. But anyways, going back, yeah, for me, Nkunku has to start. I don't know why Jackson is still starting. Nkunku is an extraordinary player. He's a really good player for them. Sancho, that link up with Sancho, Nkunku, and João Felix have to start over Madueke and Jackson and Neto. These guys, Madueke, Jackson, and Neto are okay as subs. But for me, if I was the manager of Chelsea, I would start Sancho and Kunku and João Felix, because these guys are the players that fit the system. They kind of, because these guys have played at top teams like Barcelona, and it's like, for example, João Felix has played in a system with Barcelona and Atletico de Madrid, a passing system. You kind of get what I mean, the dribbling, like passing and stuff, tactical system. You take a look at Nkunku, he has that PSG, that France type of system under Didier Deschamps. Like at PSG as well, and at Leipzig as well. Leipzig have a lot of good cams. You take a look at Shabozlai, Nkunku, Danny Olmo, and then same with Sancho as well. A lot of players, like I feel like I personally slept on him a lot because he played in the Bundesliga under Dortmund, but uh, but going back, I even watched it like last season as well. I was watching him a lot in the Champions League last season because Dortmund had a really good run in the group stage. PSG had them, and of course in the semifinals as well. We don't talk about that. He cooked us, but anyways, even then I noticed how good he was, and that's why I went ahead watched his Chelsea game because I wanted to see how he was. But players like João Felix and Kunku and Sancho, they have a more tactical, modern mindset to football. They have a more tactical. These other players here are just put in the team, and they really don't, because the way that Chelsea have been the past year and past 2 years, there's no really solid tactic. They're just playing whatever they do. They do this, do that type of thing. But players like João Felix and Kunku and Sancho kind of have that mentality. They know they're smarter. They're more football smarter. You get what I mean? So for me, I'd start them for sure because those guys are really impactful for sure. We'll see how. I mean, it was only one game where we saw those three together, especially Sancho and Kunku, João Felix as well. But we'll see how it plays out next week. Who do they have next week? Take a look at Chelsea fixtures. They don't even have Champions League anymore. They have Conference League, so I expect them to win the Conference League. Again, they have West Ham, who are a pretty decent team, and then Brighton as well after that. So two really strong teams. We'll see how it plays out there, but yeah, I'm gonna watch that West 4:30 a.m. Never mind, but I'll watch the highlights. I'm expecting a lot. I hopefully, like I really do think that this is the come up season for Chelsea because they have some really talented players now. More players who know how to play tactically, who are smarter when they play football. For example, Sancho. And as I said, the way that Sancho played really reminded me of that Hazard role. The silky smooth touches, they're good on the one-on-ones, good passing, very fast, so very smart as well. And then with the link ups of Nkunku, you can see in the past it was like Oscar, um, and then yeah, just Chelsea, man. A new team, new year, new season. So, and they have players who are more tactical. You get what I mean? Let's go ahead talk about the Champions League. We're not really gonna talk about the teams and stuff. Let's just go ahead and make some predictions over here. I don't think you guys see my notepad, but I will write it down. You guys can see the Google though. So we have Juve versus PSV. I think this is gonna be an okay game. Juve drew their game this weekend against, who was it? I think it was Bologna. Was it? No, it's Empoli. So if we take a look at the stats here, like I'm looking at my phone right now. Sorry, so you guys don't see it, unfortunately. But they were pretty dominant. They just couldn't score and stuff. Who was the lineup though? Coop Myers Hill. They had a pretty good team. It's just unfortunate they couldn't really. Yeah, I guess the goalkeeper on Empoli was good and stuff. They had a good game. It was pretty unfortunate for them. Juve are looking really good this season under Thiago Motta for sure. They have some really good players as well. Vlahovic, Douglas Costa, Kenan Yildiz. So but PSV are also a pretty decent team, but I do expect Juve to win. They've had a good season so far. Young boys. There's Aston Villa. Aston Villa also have a really good team. Who did they play this weekend? Aston Villa. They played Everton this weekend. They were 2-0 down and they make the comeback. Uh, what's his name? Ollie Watkins. Um, they have Onana now. They have Digne. They have a pretty strong team. And under Unai, was Unai Emery at Aston Villa, or is he at what? No, he's at Aston Villa. He's not at West Ham. They have a good team. I do expect Aston Villa here to win against young boys as well. I don't even know what league they're from. Milan Liverpool. Now Liverpool, they lost their game this weekend. They lost against Nottingham Forest 1-0 at Anfield for the first time since like 76 years or 1970 something like that. They lost after 70 years for the first time at Anfield against Nottingham Forest. So of course, like in the first three games, they did really good as well. I don't know what was wrong against that game against Nottingham Forest, but against Milan as well. Milan have been a bit shaky though in the past season or so. Like so I don't really know what to expect from Milan. I haven't watched them this season either, so but even with Liverpool, they lost their last game, but I think Milan won this weekend as well. It's keeping an eye on them. I think they won 3-0. Take a look here. They won 4-0 against Venezia. Two penalties for Fana. They had a pretty good Pulisic is really good. Tommy Abraham, Loftus-Cheek. They have a really strong team. Last season they were kind of shaky though. Like they were okay last season. Of course, we played PSG played them in the group stage, but then they went to the Europa League. Um, who did they get knocked out by? I don't even know who they got knocked out by. But or Leverkusen might have knocked them out. But anyways, yeah, I think no, it wasn't Leverkusen. But yeah, Tammy Abraham was also at Roma last season. So now they have him at striker. They have Alvaro Morata. They have a pretty strong team. Liverpool also have a strong team. I'd say a draw here. I think a draw here is fair. Draw or Milan or draw. I don't see Liverpool winning. I think Milan at home at San Siro is a different gravy. Bayern, Zagreb. Now, of course, we're going Bayern. They're really good under. They won 6-0 this weekend in the Bundesliga. It was a really bad team, though. I think they just got promoted, that other team. But Bayern are also doing really good. You got, what's his name? Musiala is extraordinary. That new signing of them, that French Elise, is doing really good for them as well. But Bayern Munich under company as well. Real Madrid versus Stuttgart. Now, Stuttgart were really good. I think they got second or third last season. I think they got second. They did better um than Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga, I think. And then Dortmund got fourth, but Bayern got third. So Stuttgart on the team, and even last season, you take a look at Madrid versus Leipzig. Madrid were struggling against RB Leipzig. So I feel like a lot of people are gonna say like Madrid are easily gonna win this, but as I said, with the performance, the recent form of Madrid, I think it's also gonna be like an okay tough game. We'll see how it goes. Of course, I don't watch a lot of Stuttgart, so I'm not 100% sure. But from the last performances of Stuttgart, like from last season, they got second in the Bundesliga. They're unbeaten so far in the Bundesliga. And they have some pretty good goal ratios as well. 3-1, 4-1, 3-3, 5-0. So we'll see how they play um against Madrid tomorrow. But I think it can be I think Madrid or even a draw. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a draw. So Sporting Leo. This is gonna be a really good game. Guys, Gyökeres needs to go. Guys, this guy needs to go to a big club. This guy, if he comes to PSG, man, this guy is like incredible. Last season he had 56 games. Oh no, this is this season, but last season he had 50 games and 43 goals. And this doesn't even show the assists. I'm pretty sure he had crazy amount of assists. This season he has 6 games for Sporting and 8 goals, all in Liga NOS, guys. This guy is like this guy is he's like the Portuguese, he's the Swedish Erling Haaland, guys. I don't know what it is um with these North Europeans, like these Norwegians and these Swedish and these Polish strikers, Lewandowski, um, Gyökeres, you have Zlatan, you have Haaland. So like these guys are just different in these striker roles. And Gyökeres, guys, as I said, don't sleep on Lille as well because they have a really good team. Zaragrova was cooking against PSG. He ended up scoring as well in that game, 3-1 game against Lille last week. Diakate, Chevalier. They have a good midfield of Angel Gomez and Andre, and then Jonathan David is really good. He's probably Canada's best striker. This guy was at one point competing. He's still competing for like top goal scorers, and like this guy was on levels of competing against Kylian Mbappe in top scorers in League One. So very underrated striker Jonathan David. So I think this game can be really good. Um, I know Sporting, or I haven't really kept the eye on Sporting other than Gyökeres. Like I just see he scores a lot, but Lille, I kind of know their performance is a bit better because I watched PSG, and Ligue 1 just in general. I watched some of Lille's games. I'm gonna say draw or Lille. I think Lille is a good team, man. Like don't doubt Lille. And then we have Bologna, Shakhtar. Honestly, I don't really. This is just gonna. I'm just gonna say Shakhtar or Bologna here. I really don't know. They're playing home as well, so I'll just say them. Sparta versus Salzburg. I think Salzburg are a bit better as a team. Salzburg. How long has it been? 1 hour 20 minutes. Cold. Celtic versus Slovan. I think Celtic won this. I don't even know the other team. I'm just making some shouts here because I don't know half the teams. Club Bruges versus Dortmund. I think Dortmund win this. Actually, is it showing? No, this. Oh yeah, this show. Oh my! I switched my screen. How long has I have been switched for? Oh, hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully it wasn't switched for like the whole podcast. I wonder, like, do I have a button that switched or something? Anyways, it doesn't really matter. I guess you guys saw it anyways. Like you kind of saw, like I know I had this thing up here anyways. Oh, I think it was fine. I think you guys saw my whole screen anyways, so it doesn't really matter. It's just the face cam is a bit different, but yeah, it's okay. I think it's fine. Um, but anyways, yeah, Dortmund. We'll go back to this screen now. We have Dortmund and Club Brugge. I'm gonna expect Dortmund to win this. City versus Inter. Inter are a really good team nowadays. They won the Serie A last season. They lost against City in the Champions League final 2 seasons ago. But I think it could be a pretty good game. They are away though, so I think City will win. PSG Girona, I do expect this is going to be a good game. Of course, Girona just lost 4-1 to Barca though. I expect PSG to win this. I think it's still going to be like it's not going to be an easy game for PSG though. Like I mean maybe it does. Like why am I doubting PSG, man? And then what else do we have here? We have Leverkusen. This is Faye and Nord. I think Leverkusen win this. Of course, they finally lost their first domestic game in the Bundesliga. In Germany, like that includes cups and of course the league. After like 55 games or something like that, 40 games or something. So finally that streak is done. Of course, as I said, it was 2-0 up against Leipzig, and then Leipzig came back. But I still think that they're gonna win this game. They're still a pretty strong team. There's only one game they lost. Red Star, Belgrade versus Benfica. I reckon Benfica wins this. Atalanta versus Arsenal. I think Arsenal are a really good team. I'm really excited for Arsenal PSG. I think that can be a really good game. And that's going to be the real first test of PSG. Are they really going to be able to perform against big teams? Of course, PSG. I mentioned this in a few podcasts ago. I think it was this one here, where PSG have one of the toughest groups. So PSG Arsenal, I think, is going to be an extraordinary game. Take a look here. PSG, Arsenal. So Leipzig are a really good team, but unfortunately, playing away against these racked Atletico's like it's gonna be hard. I think Atletico also had a really good start to the season, unbeaten. So let's put Atletico. Brest versus Graz. I don't even know who these teams. I know who Brest are, of course, but I don't know who Sturm Graz is. I'm gonna say Stade Brestois, and then Monaco versus Barcelona. I did say that Monaco are a really good team, but Barcelona, the way they've been playing, I think they win this. Barcelona, if Monaco, like, it's home as well for Monaco, but Barcelona are just different. I'd say Barcelona maybe just barely a draw, maybe just a draw, but I think that's only if Monaco is in the top of their game. Barcelona are just a different level. So yeah, those are my predictions there. Um, Nothing much. Yeah, I'm not really gonna go into depth about like all the teams and stuff. So that's that. Let's go ahead and talk about. Am I on the right screen? Yeah, let's go ahead and talk. We're going to talk about the Ballon d'Or. I think we'll do that on the next podcast, guys. We'll do that on our next podcast. It's been a while now. Like it's been a long podcast already, so do that later. We'll talk about like because we talked about we have the Champions League upcoming. I want to make my team. For me, I think we're gonna put Erling Haaland has to be up there for sure. Like this guy's scoring week in week out. Um, I wonder is Lamine Yamal here, guys? Because personally, I would put Lamine Yamal. Maybe he's a midfielder. Yeah, Lamine Yamal, get in there. I think we have 100 mil to spend, so that's already 18.5 mil gone. Let's see. Danny Olmo was injured, so I would have put him. Ousmane Dembele, I'm putting in. Kind of have to think of this pretty smartly in terms of like, oh, we can't use everything. Darwin Nunez, Gakpo, Marnie, Taremi. I think we can see some good stuff from Leo, from Jonathan David. Where's Gyökeres? 7.5 mil though. Gonna have to think smartly in terms of like who do we want to get, like who do we want to, because not we're not it's not going to be all these players. It's only going to be 11 players. The rest are sub. So we want to think of who's going to be the players who are going to be getting us the most points, and then maybe we can just have some farmer players like on the bench, like just some random players on the bench. I don't know if Rodgers really gonna get points. I feel like gaining points is really based on scoring and or assisting. So I feel like you don't really gain as much when you're a defensive player. Like maybe 2 or 3 points. Lee Kangen, I could put him in Lee Kangen. Let's come back and actually, can we search by clubs? I want to search Barcelona because I want to put Pedri. I think Pedri's really good. Let's go ahead and put Pedri. And I would put Vitinha. Actually, let's go ahead and put Vitinha, man. I think he's going to really do good for PSG. So it's alphabetical. Yeah, PSG. He's injured, though. Let's do Fabian Ruiz, man. Fabian Ruiz. And then let's go back to the forwards. And Baye. Doué. No, I'm not going to choose any of them. I think we need to choose Mbappe, man. Like, I know, like, I expect more from him, but you still have to choose him, man. Like, he is Mbappe, man. This is Mbappe. Then not clear. Who's like a goalkeeper who would do good? I think Ter Stegen has done pretty decent. I think we choose Donnarumma's injured. Oh no, I think he's out. Yeah, I did. I forgot about that. He was out. Um, Mike Mignon. Ederson is also good versus Inter. Those a tough game. I think Courtois, man, this guy in the Champions League is always like a different gravy. In terms of defenders, I think Davies for me. Ruben Dias. No, I don't know about Van Dijk though. Trent is also really good. Rudiger. Yeah, let's put Kunde as well. And then who's like a PSG player? Where's Marquinhos? Um, And we need 13 mil left, and we need to let's just get some random players in. I don't know, is there any decent players like Kobel? Ooh, Kobel's good for 5 million as well, and then we have 8 mil to spend on the 4. We might have to drop someone though. 5 mil. Who's 5 mil he can get here? It's not even Dusan Vlahovic for Juve. Now this one we're gonna have to like, yeah, let's check midfielders as well. 4.5 mil. Renato Sanchez. This is the, oh yeah, this is Renato Sanchez. Buchanan. Brian Gill for Girona now. I think we'll just get Renato Sanchez. He's okay. And then we have 3.5. We're gonna have to drop someone to get some money here. And what's the cheapest forward you can get? 4.5 mil for this Donny. So we need 1 mil. So we're gonna have to drop someone here. Let's drop Fabian Ruiz though. Pedri. I think unfortunately we're gonna have to drop Pedri. So 6.5 mil for a midfielder. Let's see, what options do we have? Olise, we could use a Bayern player, kind of distribute the teams, not go like all one team here. Like we don't have any like, okay, let's go ahead and do Olise. Shabozla is also really good. Lorente, Douglas Luiz. Let's go ahead and do Olise. I think this is my team here. We have some really good players. Davies, Rudiger, Ruben Diaz, Marquinhos, Kunde. This is really good. That backline is crazy. So we go ahead here, do continue. Who do I want to start? I think I want to do Courtois as my main keeper. In the back, I think we want to do Alphonso Davies. Hey, how do I? I want to put it on the right spots. This and then Rudiger here, and Courtois is good, and then I want to put Dembele in for Renato. Yo, man, can I? Dembele in for Renato. Lamine. Oh, we can put them. Wait, can I put like? Oh, you can. But I'm not gonna do that. Lamine in for. Yeah, I think Olise is good. Does Olise start over? Does Olise start over Ruben Diaz though? I think he does. I don't know though. No, I think he does. I think this, and then in terms of pick your captain, like they will be double with Haaland for sure. It's gonna be the captain, and then team name, of course, FIFA Flow. It's called FIFA Flow 7, of course, for Mbappe, I guess. Save team. Okay, there we go. Oh, make free transfers as well. You can make some. Oh no, it's not free though. I think it's only free because like you can, because when you gain points, you have to use your, like if you get points here, let's say I get 20 points, you have to use 4 points to make a transfer if you want to switch player. I'm pretty happy with this team though. This is a really solid team. So yeah, I think this is my team here. Let's end it off. Yeah, we'll talk about the Ballon d'Or nominees on another day. I just wanted to, like, I'd prioritize choosing, like, talking about the Champions League predictions instead. The Ballon d'Or is not until like another month or so, so I feel like there's not really any hype yet. So maybe we'll wait for now. Let's go ahead and do some of these footy knowledge games. Let's do a timer. So Messi and Croatian is Rakitic, Messi, and Galatasaray. Galatasaray. Who's at Galatasaray right now? Maybe you can think of. Um, and the Eto. I feel like Eto played for Galatasaray. I don't know. Swedish. Zlatan. I guess that worked as well. Yeah, I don't even know who else is here. Anyways, Liverpool Croatian. That's all over. Liverpool Galatasaray, Liverpool Swedish. Nah, it's over for us. I'm not even gonna be bothered to search it up. The podcast is already long enough. Most minutes played with Robin van Persie now. We're good. Nah, not this one either. Who were you? Hide photo. Okay, so let's guess. Let's go Mbappe first. Ethan Mbappe. We'll go. So he plays in the Ligue 1. He's above. He's not a midfielder. So let's go someone like. He's not French either. So maybe we can go someone like Asensio. He's a forward. Let's go someone that's like Jonathan David. Oh, he doesn't play for Lille though. So who's like another forward? Let's go for Del Castillo. No, let's go to Monaco. Maybe we can think of who's like another player they have. Golovin. He does play for Monaco. Golovin's a midfielder. They count him as a midfielder. Who's the other winger for them? Minamino. No. Oh, okay. Who's their striker though? I don't know who their striker is. What other forwards do Monaco have? They're younger. How old are they? They're like in their mid-20s. Not French either and stuff. I don't even know who the striker is though. Monaco squad. Let's go ahead and look. Balogun, man. Go back here, bro. Embolo, man. Has to be Embolo. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Negative, like I say, like, oh, I see some Monaco sometimes, but I just forget the players. Let's go cold. So I don't know Monaco. Tic-tac-toe. We tried this and we failed. Football bingo is good. Let's do timer as well. So Banenga, Argentina. I don't know. Was he in like the World Cup with Argentina? No. Ndidi, Sophia Amrabat. Oh, Danny Olmo. Leipzig. Douglas Costa, Juve. Gianluigi Donnarumma. No. Anguissa. No. Hernan Torres. No. Alexis Sanchez is Marseille. Stankovic. No. Negative ball knowledge. David Luiz. Jonathan David. Inzaghi at Inter. Kamara. Some guy played for Monaco. Kolo Muani. No. Playa. Isn't this guy French? Did he play for Leverkusen though? No, I think he played for Frankfurt. I think it was Lucas Digne. Oh, he wasn't in the World Cup, bro. Let's go. What a ball knowledge for me. Miroslav Klose. World Cup winner. Julian Brandt. Did he play? Oh, he did play for Leverkusen. Let's go. Pavard, Champions League with Bayern. Balogun. Thiago Motta. Maybe managed by Rafa Benitez at Juve. Or yeah. Barros, no. Timber. Oh, here. Dutch. Edwards. Sounds like an English name. Aguerd. Sarabia. Pablo Sarabia. No. PSG legend. Vardy. No. Rico Henry. Bro, who's this guy? Macon. Oh, I don't think Patrick Schick. Anelka. Was he top scorer in like Serie A? Maybe Luis Saha. Nathan Ake. Weston McKennie. Kimmich. Terrier. Lookman. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, probably negative ball knowledge. Maybe I didn't know some of them. Missing 11. What's the missing 11 today? Nah, we're good. Let's end it off with this one here. Let's do hard. So De Bruyne definitely has more assists than a center back. This guy, I'd say it's United though. So does he have more minutes than? I'd say subbed off more. No, no. More tackles, more crosses. Barely. More tackles for sure. Come on, it's a defender against a midfielder. More assists, that's it. Oh, okay, I still win that though. What the heck? Defender, I'd say more tackles here. Ooh, definitely less crosses, less assists. Nah, it's over for us, guys. It's all over. Anyways, we're gonna end it off there. It's been a long podcast. Anyways, today, next podcast will be next. I don't know. We want to do one about the Champions League. So let's see. Do we have any good games next week though? We have Champions League and then PSG or no Chelsea, West Ham. Ooh, Milan Derby, City Arsenal. So yeah, we're gonna do one next week, guys. So don't expect any like podcast on Friday for the Champions League. We'll do one with the game week as well. So I guess I'll see you guys sometime next week, like maybe Monday again next week. But for now, stay positive, stay flow, stay happy, stay safe, and I'll see you later. Au revoir.